Let's call the meeting to order. Jen, take roll, please.
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Waldner?
Here.
Commissioner Thel?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here. You have attached the minutes of October 5th.
Make a motion, we approve October 5th minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no appearances, acknowledgements, or correspondence, we move on to old business. It's not quite 5:35, and that, should we move on down to resolution and that, just in case there's somebody who wants to come in on the 5:35 hearing?
Okay,
That'd
we can
give
talk
us
about
4 more minutes.
resolutions.
So we'll move down to new business, resolution number 2015-11, adopt the assessment roll and levy assessments for the sidewalk improvements for 2014.
Okay, so
Chad,
following-
would you want to address that? Say that again.
Following the hearing, we can discuss them, but following the hearing, we would ask that you approve, we're to the levying process of the sidewalk improvement and sidewalk repair improvement. for
Okay, so you
2014.
would rather do those after we have the old business
After
rolls?
We have to have the hearing before we can.
Sounds
do the
good.
resolution.
Yes.
After 5 years, is there any way I can get, because I'm gonna have a knee put in next month. I use a walker, cane, crutches. I've asked 5 years for that tree of Nugent's to be trimmed. Is there any way that could be added into the sidewalk? It's just a maintenance.
On that, I would suggest in that you visit with Chad, after the meeting and that, and have him take a look at it and see where it sits. Because it does make a difference as to whether or not it's on the boulevard and part of the city, or if it's on private property. And then we do have an ordinance where they have to be 10 feet above the sidewalk.
Here's this,
But it cannot be assessed as part of what we're doing tonight.
No.
It's
So-
a separate
so-
issue
I'm
from
just saying that
sidewalks.
This has got his property, this is the boulevard, and the tree goes over the sidewalk.
Yeah. Paul, I understand what you're asking, but what I'm saying is that in order for us to address that, it would have to go through Chad, and Chad would have to check it all out, okay? So it isn't something that we can act on right now.
That's fine, I've just asked.
Nope. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
for it.
Yes.
For
Okay?
6 weeks,
Okay?
and it's still not done.
What I would like to say to that is, there's actually an ordinance that I do not administer
Please
related
do.
to forestry and the parks.
Mhm.
And the park superintendent's referenced in there that talks about trimming trees, and I believe there's language in there that talks about trimming trees, whether they're on the boulevard or on the private property.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I would not be one that
And
administers that.
it's complaint-based.
That I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't deal with it, so.
Yeah.
uh,
Usually it's complaint-based. If the police receive a complaint, then, things move forward.
So what I would tell the gentleman here is that that's what the same thing I just said, is what I would tell him. So I would
Sounds
say
good.
it's probably more appropriate to talk to whomever is responsible for the Parks Department. Right, and I believe it says, I don't know that ordinance, so I don't administer it, so whether it's the
It's in
Park
the
Board
city
or
Mm-hmm.
the Parks Commissioner or the Park Superintendent, but that's what I would say.
It's in the city limits,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
and his tree is on his property.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Paul?
it's crossing.
I want to stay within the confines of the law
That's
right
fine,
now.
but I mean,
And what I'm saying is it's not a part of tonight's official business.
I know, okay.
So to keep us from getting into difficulty, that's why I want to refer you,
Park superintendent
to,
would be the right person.
yes, I want to refer you on to them so that we can stay legally within our agenda.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't apply.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Go ahead.
It is 5:35, so under old business, we'll have the hearing on the sidewalk improvement and repair assessment rolls. Chad, do you want to address that? And then, sir, I believe this is something that you wanted to address? Okay?
Did you want me to?
It doesn't matter to me who starts.
Okay, I can say, a couple weeks ago, these assessment rolls, there was an agenda item that these were put before you when you actually set the date for this hearing. And so these are the assessment rolls for sidewalk work that was done in 2014 and some carrying over to 2015, where the city accomplished the repairs. And essentially, this is the completion of the process where our contractor did the work, and then we tabulated the costs for those and incorporated them into this roll, and then I file that with the finance officer. And from that point, Ms. Eimers would take over with the assessment process, and that's what I think this notice for this hearing is tonight.
Okay? And then, Jen, is this the single hearing, or is there more to act on this later on?
No, this is it.
Okay.
This is the hearing,
Okay.
Following the hearing, if you so choose, you would adopt both of these resolutions, and then we continue the process out of the finance office from there.
Okay. My next question is, have the property owners been notified and that what the bill is?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. Now, sir, this is what you wanted to address?
Yes, I-
If you would, if you'd move up to the table so you're close to the mic. And the reason that I ask that is people at home listen to it on the computer, and one of their complaints is that they can't hear what's being said.
Okay. Well, based on the notices that have been sent out, we received one for property that we purchased in February 28th of this year. And this is for work that was done somewhere last year, in 2014. I'm thinking, what, September? Maybe October. At the time we purchased the property, it was owned by Wells Fargo. And I think, Chad, you did send me the
Yeah.
letters that were sent out prior to the work being done, which was sent out to James Malum, who passed away in 2012. So the only notifications that went out for the property was to James Malum. He passed away in 2012. These letters went out, which ones were they, in 2013 and 2014. And so the work was done. We purchased the property from Wells Fargo in 2015 with no assessments against it. You know, they covered the taxes and outstanding, and apart from that, there wasn't any assessments against the property, so we purchased it. And, you know, now, 8 months after the fact, we're being sent a bill for work that was done while it was owned by someone else prior to our ownership.
Okay, I'm going to defer to David. Do you have thoughts on, is this something we should look into further, or do you have a, I guess I'm at a loss in the situation in that if the person passed away and Wells Fargo was not made aware that we were, you know, requiring the sidewalk to be put in and the assessments were going to be there, Wells Fargo wouldn't have known about it. Have you
The
done anything
sheriff's
that way?
sale- The sheriff's sale took place on February of 14. And then it was filed finally in November of 14. So that's when it was transferred from James Malum to Wells Fargo. And then it was transferred to us, basically at the end of February, March 1st of 15. So it was sold to us with clear title, no assessments against it.
Well, it's unfortunate timing.
And
But.
can I just ask what the dollar amount was that we're talking?
1,400 and some. $1,427.58.
Okay. David?
Assessments aren't made against people, they're made against property.
Mhm.
And this property was assessed. It was, ultimately, this is an assessment. Title insurance happens to specifically, just anecdotally exclude assessments, because things like this come up, things like this happen. The city followed the statutory procedure to a T, to move forward, to be in a position to validly assess the property. And I understand there's some question about who had notice or who didn't have notice, but the city followed the rules. And this is certainly a unique situation. But sheriff sales don't guarantee clear title. Sheriff sales don't exclude or disclaim any assessments. This happens. This isn't the first time this has happened. I'll guarantee you it won't be the last. The property was properly assessed. Now, this commission has in its authority the ability to abate that assessment, or to remove that assessment if it so chooses. But the commission shouldn't remove it because we did something wrong, or because we didn't follow some rule. That I'm confident we did correctly. I've reviewed it, I've spoken with Chad about it, who administers a lot of this. It went the way it was supposed to go. I understand that we're dealing with a deceased person in a foreclosure, and we have a lot of moving parts here. And so this happens, but it's not because we did something wrong. And I just want the commission to understand that. An unfortunate situation, absolutely. Unfortunate because we were somehow negligent or didn't follow the law, absolutely not. Not the case. We ran the assessment notice in the paper pursuant to law. We followed the steps. That's what I can tell you.
So no accusations being made as.
No,
far-
no,
but
no,
the
we
my
understand
point
the
is,
situation
when
there.
we purchased the property, title searches have been done.
Mhm.
The assessments that were against the property were paid and covered by the seller. The seller had no way of knowing there was more. The buyer had no way of knowing there was more. So as far as we know, we bought it with a clear title, and then 7, 8 months down the road, you get a bill.
Mhm. Now,
Buying a car, from someone else, and then somebody that put an alternator in comes after you a year later and says, oh, by the way, we did this for the guy that owned it before you.
that's called a mechanics lien, and I know that happens too. I know that happens too.
So what do you want us to do?
Well, I don't, I don't wanna pay for it. I mean, I'd understand it if I knew about it. I mean, that's understandable. I understand it was done. But I didn't buy the property, knowing that was there. The seller didn't sell it knowing it was there. And, say, what was it, September 17th, is that when you didn't even file it? It wasn't even registered that it was owed until September 17th.
Right.
Mhm.
And that was owed against the property that was, the work was done before I purchased it.
Hey,
So it's like being blindsided. I'm being
Is this-
blindsided with the bill.
I'm gonna ask David, and that if this is something and that since it would be an abatement, that we could discuss now but put off to an abatement meeting at a different date? Or is this something that we would have to act on tonight?
Could you abate the assessment later?
That's my question. Because that would give the commission, and we're missing one, time to review and ask questions and make a decision. That's where my thoughts are going.
And I'm not looking for an immediate answer tonight. We have until, I believe, the middle of November, until we either have to pay it or it's assessed against us.
Well, we certainly can wait that long. So
Okay.
I wouldn't even suggest the commission make a decision tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping that they wouldn't. No, Mike, you
My,
had.
my question is legally then, could we, whether we do it through abatement or whatever, can we say, all right, yeah, it's unfortunate timing, totally understand, I know right where you're coming from. Is that something where the commission can pay half and they pay half, make it kind of somewhat fair at least? I realize, and I hope you understand, we're under no obligation, we can
Sure.
just say no and just let it ride and go through it and
You can do a partial abatement, Mike. Yes.
okay.
And with that, I believe sidewalks are probably the most difficult part of our job, so.
Yeah. So, okay, so then can we, cause I would like to talk with Commissioner Johnson a little more about it as well, so can we?
So,
I don't wanna hold up everything else.
right,
Moving forward, but I would like to table this one incident to get a little bit
Adopt
of.
the resolutions tonight.
I was gonna say, I don't think we need to do that. We can adopt the resolutions tonight, and we could act on it again before that November date.
Okay,
You can adopt the resolution.
What is the date in November that,
When was it?
November 12th is what the date will be. 5 PM on November 12th is when, according to codified law, 30 days after approval of the assessment roll, which is tonight. So November 12th, 5 PM.
So we've got a few meetings.
So that gives us at least 3 meetings before we even get to there.
Correct.
Yeah, I would suggest we
Okay.
should do it before the 12th,
Okay,
If we so choose to change it.
if you so choose to change it, correct?
Okay.
okay. So with that, we'll move forward.
You know, like you mentioned, even meeting halfway, because I understand it was done,
Mhm.
so we're still benefiting from
Mhm.
it. It's just the, blindsided, and had
No,
I known,
understood.
if I would owned it, I could have done it myself. I feel I could have done it more reasonably
Mhm.
than what it,
Well, the nice thing about it is between now and November 12th, you have a full opportunity to visit with every one of the councilmen and, and then as a council, we can come up with a decision in that before that time period. So that's the nice part.
Our emails and phone numbers and everything are on the website, so
Mhm.
if you want to discuss it further with each of us
Mhm.
individually, you're certainly welcome to.
Mhm. So,
you need a motion then to,
what we will do is we will move forward to, motion to accept, the, hearing, and then we'll move on and approve the resolutions.
Let's just approve the resolution.
Just approve the resolutions, all right? We'll move forward and approve the resolutions, and then everyone on here has 30 days to get things taken care of, or before it goes on the assessment rolls,
okay,
okay?
yeah, that,
So with that, thank you, and like I said, be in contact with our commission, and we'll move forward with resolution number 2015-11, adopt the assessment roll and levy assessments for sidewalk improvement 2014.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution number 2015-11 to adopt assessment roll and levy assessments for sidewalk improvement 2014.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution number 2015-12, adopt the assessment roll and levy assessments for sidewalk repair improvements 2014.
I moved to make a motion to adopt assessment roll and levy assessment for sidewalk repair improvements 2014.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You also have attached personnel adjustments.
Motion to approve personnel.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to go into executive session.
I move,
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are now in executive session.